Hey, Steve Murphy here. Today I'm going to be demonstrating how to make a baby rhinoceros candy dish, which is so ridiculously cute. I'm sure most of you are crying right now. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a ball of clay, and I'm going to take it, and I'm going to roll myself a ball of clay about this big, and I'm going to do a pinch pot. Most of you have probably done pinch pots when you were kids in elementary school. And this is exactly like that. Make no mistake, pottery, it's not that hard. It just takes practice. So I've got this. Then I'm going to take that. I've made two more of these because to make it, like Julia Child. I'm going to take this, I'm going to tap these down so these edges are straight. I'm going to see if it fits all the way around. Then I'm going to take these two hollow forms and scratch the front faces and make it into one hollow shape. Now, one thing that's important in ceramics is not to have big hollow shapes in your ceramics because they'll end up blowing up in the kiln. But what's nice about this is once this is sealed, and I'll do that by rolling this edge over. You can see the edge getting rolled over, and it makes it nice and tight. When that is all held, I've got air inside here, and the air pressure keeps the piece from collapsing. So this piece here was built at this same stage completely, and I put a hole in him later on to let the air out, but not until he was complete. Okay? So I've got this. I'm going to take this, I'm going to tap it. Kind of bounce it around. That's going to help make those scratch marks. I made scratch marks in it called scratching and attaching. The thing about scratch marks is, let's say you have a piece of clay, another piece of clay, and you just put them together, right? What happens, it's like wetting your hands and putting them this way. That's not going to stick very well. When you scratch it, you make these marks in the clay, and they get into each other and hold really, really well. So I've got this shape. This is my rhinoceros body, which I'll put here on top of a little board. Never work directly on top of a metal surface if you want to get your piece off, because it won't come off. So I got that there. Then I'm going to take a coil and I'm going to roll out some legs. When I'm rolling coils, I kind of do it in a swimming motion. So I'll be rolling out coils, and then I'm going to cut. These are going to be the legs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it, I'm going to cut it in half, and then I'm going to cut it this way. 1, 2, then I'm going to cut 3, 4. Okay? So these are my legs on my little beastie. I'll take this, and I'll put these guys down here. Now before I go any further, I should put in some toes. Rhinoceri, like tapirs, have 3 toes. So I'm going to press in here. This will be the side. I'm going to press in here and here. And there's his little feet. And what I'll do is I'll edge this down. I'm not going to smooth it out completely. Smoothing things out completely, I don't know, looks kind of boring to me. So I'll leave a little edge on it. You can roll it like this. Roll like that. But I want to make sure that this angle stays like this. So this is there, and that one is there. So now I've got little feet to go, and I'm going to mark this up, and I'm going to lay this on here and see if it looks right. It looks pretty good. So what I'll do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to scratch these pretty aggressively, okay? Scratching pretty aggressively, and then I'm going to, whoopsie, and then I'm going to put slip on them. 1, 2, 3, 4. This slip is simply this particular clay body and water. I usually take a mayonnaise jar or something, and I'll write the name of the clay on it and the number, and then I don't end up with the wrong clay on the wrong slip and I don't know. I imagine that it causes problems. So now I've got marks on this, so I can scratch this now without having to monkey around with it too much. 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. I'm going to press this in and let it set for a bit before I smooth it in anymore. Okay, so here's his back end and here's his head. For his head, I'm going to roll out a ball of clay about this, and I'll make it a little bit longer. You find if you move your hands quickly and press gently on things, it tends to work out a little better. I'm going to find his front and I'm going to stick it on right here. Okay, so I'll scratch this and I'll slip it, and then I'm going to line it up where it's supposed to go, and then I'll scratch this and really screw that on. Okay, and that looks like kind of a small head for this, but it is going to be attached completely with and have little ears and horn on it, so it's going to get bigger. I'm going to press this in now with my fingertips. I can use a needle tool to roll it in a bit. A pencil also works well, and that will attach it on its top pretty good, like that. Okay. Then I'll take this and give him some ears. When I make ears, I want to use a pointed tool, it's like a chopstick, and I'll make an indentation. I like to make indentations in when I add things to pieces because, to be honest, I was listening to National Public Radio one morning, and the Implant Dentistry System of Boston was supporting it, and I just said, oh, that's a good idea. So I make, basically, to make ears, I'll make little ears with a little point on it, and that point gets dipped and slipped and gets put into the hole. Okay, put into each of those, and then I'm going to take this and I'm going to press in with the point to make the ear hole, and I'm pressing against my thumb on the inside, and that makes ridiculously cute ears as well. Okay, then I'm going to make the eyes. Oh, I'll make the horns first. I'll take 2 more little balls of clay, one very small, the size of a petite pea, and one big, the size of a chickpea. And I'm going to make a point. You'll find that this shape is the same here. So you just roll it and it comes out into a point. Now I'll make a hole here in this part and a hole here. I'm going to do the little one first because it's easier if I don't have to move my hand around. Like that, and again, like this. Tilt his nose up a little bit, and make 2 little eyes. And then don't forget his mouth. I generally do it with a rib, and I'll just press in and make it a little happy, because he should be happy. For his rhinoceros forms, I will take the rib and I'm going to roll it up. I know this is not exactly what rhinoceroses look like, but you know, I'm an artist. I can do whatever I want. So I roll it up and roll it up. And this gives us some rhinoceri looking parts. Oh, he has a somewhat disconcerted expression on his face. And then I'll do is I'll put on his candy dish. His candy dish will be a smaller basket made the same way. I'll squeeze it in. As I'm going around, I'm squeezing and turning and squeezing and turning. I'll tap it flat. And I can give it some design. I have a square end on a chopstick here. I'll just press in here with that, which is going to give me that design You can use any form you like. It makes beautiful little line work on it. All the way around. And that's going to sit on top. Okay. Again, I'll take my slip, mark it, put it down, scratch this, and put it down. So, and finally, when you do this, you need to make sure that he's got something to hold it on with. So I'm going to roll out a little strap of clay. And I'm going to drop it and drop it again. Oh, it's a terrible job. Ah, better. Oh, not so good. Practice, my friends, practice. Then I'll take this and scratch it here because I know where it's going to go. And I'm going to scratch it there. Then I'm going to slip this and this, and I'll slip this. I'm going to attach this on to be the little belt to hold on the rhinoceros's basket. And the last thing you do before you finish is you can't leave this big ball of air in there, is you take your tool and you poke them right in the belly button, or right through here instead. That'll make it stick a little bit better. All right. One rhinoceros. They almost look like brothers. So I almost forgot, but the last thing you do is roll a tail. Now, the trick to tails and whiskers and anything that sticks out, like these little horns, you have to be careful. But these are pretty thick things. So I made a little tail. I'm not sure what the tails look like. But what I'm not going to do, I'm going to put a hole here for the tail. And then I'll get the tail and I'll stick it in. What I'm not going to do is leave a tail like that. Because what happens is that's going to break off, okay? Your little brother's going to hit it, or your friends. So I'll take this and I'll press it down, and I'm going to turn it so it's cute. It's got to be cute. And bring it up and rest it against the body. That way you know it's a tail, but it's not going to get broken off in the meantime. That's it. That's my little quick lesson on a rhinoceri with a candy basket. And these are only for M&Ms. Don't forget.